Hey Vibers, it's your boy Kai, and welcome to another episode of the Vibe with Kai podcast. Now, in this week's episode, we're going to be discussing how to thrive as an introvert in what feels like an extroverted world. Now, whether you're navigating social situations or work environments or just everyday life, being an introvert sometimes it feels like it comes with its own unique set of challenges, right? But guess what? Even though it comes with its own set of challenges, it also comes with a unique set of strengths. So today we're going to unpack what it means to be an introvert and how we can harness our quiet power as introverts to lead fully fulfilling lives. Now, being an introvert in a world that often feels like it values extroversion can feel like you're swimming against the current. I know that because I've been there every single day. The quiet moments, the introspection, the deep conversations that we introverts thrive on can sometimes feel undervalued. But here's the thing: introversion is not just about being quiet. It's about where we draw energy from and how we as introverts prefer to engage with the world around us. So, what is introversion? Let's talk about that for a second. Introversion is a personality trait characterized by a preference for more solitary activities and environments that are quiet and minimally stimulating. Now, unlike extroverts who gain energy from social interactions and external activities, introverts draw their strength from spending time alone or in small, intimate groups. And they often engage in reflection and deep thinking, and they often enjoy activities that allow for inner exploration. Now, for introverts like me, this inward focus and time spent in solitude are not just preferences, but essential to our well being. It allows us to recharge and process our experiences on a very deep level. Now, this doesn't mean that introverts are shy. It definitely does not mean that all introverts are shy or that all introverts are antisocial. Rather, we selectively choose our social engagements and derive satisfaction from meaningful, close knit interactions. Right? I want to tell you a story. Recently, I attended a marketing conference in San Diego for work. It was with Yelp. I work for those of you that don't know, I work for a marketing firm, and we partner up with Yelp. And I was at a conference in San Diego with Yelp, and this conference included a networking event that I gotta say truly tested my introverted nature. I was surrounded by the hustle and the bustle and blaring music and this relentless sea of small talk. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt like a fish out of water. I really did. It took every ounce of my energy to engage and highlighting the a challenge that we introverts face quite often in such settings like that. Now, this experience for me was a poignant reminder of the journey that I've been on towards self acceptance. It wasn't easy, but it reinforced the idea that my introversion, with its preference for quiet and meaningful interaction, it's not a limitation. It's just more of like a unique asset. And embracing this aspect of myself started with recognizing that these qualities are not just part of who I am, but they're also a source of strength. Now, I want to dive into some actionable tips for all of my fellow introverts out there because I know that you're looking for some tips and tricks on how to thrive as an introvert. So I got you. I'm going to help you out here. These are all things that I practice every day, and I want to pass it over to you, and hopefully you can get something out of it as well. First and foremost, we got to set boundaries. We introverts have to set boundaries. Introverts, it's okay to say no to social engagements that drain you. I'm going to repeat that. Introverts, it's okay to say no to social engagements that drain you. Instead, I implore you to seek out settings where deep, meaningful conversations can flourish. That is where we introverts shine. I got to tell you, fully embracing the power of saying no has been a transformative journey for my introverted joy. Initially, doing this, saying no, the challenge was immense. And I often found myself grappling with the guilt of feeling like I was always just letting people down. And on top of that, the fear of missing out or appearing uncooperative, it weighed heavily on me. But here's the thing, I gradually realized that to be the best version of myself for others, I needed to prioritize being the best version of myself for me. This meant honoring my needs for solitude and quiet reflection, and understanding that not every social invitation or obligation aligns with my energy and my well being. So, saying no became a crucial act of self care for me. It enabled me to preserve my energy for the activities and the interactions that truly matter to me. And it enhanced my ability to engage more meaningfully and more authentically whenever I do decide to say yes to something. So we got to set those boundaries, introverts. We have to be okay with saying no. That is us protecting our mental health. That is protecting our well being. We cannot be afraid to say no. We got to be the best version of ourselves for us before we can be our best version for other people out there. Another thing that helped is mindfulness exercises. Those have definitely been a game changer for me. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that every day I take a few minutes every day to meditate. Just meditate. Just like honestly, just like simple breathing, and just these simple breathing activities, these exercises, they help recharge my introverted batteries. You know, there's oftentimes, like, even when I'm out, at a party or I'm at work, I'll, a lot of people think that meditation is just sitting there with your legs crossed, crisscross applesauce, being like, ma, ma. No. I mean, that is sure a version of meditation, of course, right? But like, that is not the only version of meditation. For me, in order to get in touch with my brain, I need to simply just do deep breathing exercises. And I do that when I'm at work. Sometimes I'll remove myself from the office and I'll go sit in my car. I'll go sit in a quiet area. Maybe it's in the corner, in a quiet dark spot, whatever it may be. I have my places that I go sometimes, and I just take a few minutes each day and I just breathe deeply. It really helps recharge my batteries because us introverts, we need to recharge our batteries quite often. Sometimes our battery drains pretty dang fast. At least mine does. I don't know about you, but mine drains pretty damn fast. I don't mind talking with people. I really don't. I enjoy talking to people. But the thing is, my batteries sometimes just run so low, so fast that the I feel like it's short spurts that I like talking to people. And so I had to teach myself how to recharge my batteries. And one of the ways that I have done that is by meditation and simple breathing exercises. Those kind of mindfulness activities, those kind of mindfulness exercises have been such a game changer. And I implore you to find a way to do the same. You know what I'm saying? It also comes down to self-care. Like these kind of things, it's all self-care. Doing little things like reading a book or taking a walk outside or enjoying something that like a hobby, something that brings you joy. You got to make sure that you carve out time for activities that refuel your soul. So with meditation, it may not just necessarily be like breathing deeply. Sometimes it's like legit just doing something that you enjoy. That is a version of meditation that you can do. It brings like this calmness to your brain, to your body. That is a way to recharge your batteries. Now, I gotta admit, meditation, it's a relatively new practice for me, but it has become such an integral part of my routine, especially as I navigate the intricacies of introversion. Because I focus my breathing during these meditation sessions. I focus my breathing on a very, very distinct things, and things that help clear my mind. And by doing that, it has opened up a new avenue for me to embrace and thrive in my introverted nature. This practice, centered mainly around deep breathing, allows me to create a space of calm and clarity amidst the noise of the world. And by directing my attention to the rhythm of my breath, I find myself more grounded, more centered, and it makes it easier for me to manage the overstimulation that often challenges me as an introvert. And at the end of the day, this not only helps with reducing stress, but it also enhances my ability to enjoy my own company, where I'm able to turn inward to recharge and reflect. Through meditation and my focus on deep breathing, I've discovered a powerful tool to honor my need for quietude and introspection, further enabling me to thrive as an introvert. I want to share something with you, something that's been a cornerstone for me. And for those of you that don't know, I'm sure a lot of you know already. Obviously, I'm diagnosed severe ADHD, and you might be thinking, what does ADHD have to do with introversion? A lot, a lot. I actually might do a whole episode about introversion's connection to ADHD. But I know that introversion and ADHD, they go hand in hand a lot of times. So I ended up writing a book. I wrote a little digital guidebook called Navigating Daily Life with ADHD, a digital guidebook for adults. It's available now. All you have to do is click the link inside the description of this podcast episode, and you can get it. It's 50% off, and it's specifically for you, for people like you that are interested, and it's 50% off. And I wanted to write it because I found that introverts with ADHD, they can derive significant benefits from this type of guidance. um this guidebook, it was born from my personal experiences and challenges as an introvert with ADHD. And so I put in it practical strategies and things that are aimed at enhancing focus and organization and time management. And to me, at least, it's more than just a guide. I feel like it's an invitation and a beacon of encouragement, especially for adult introverts that are seeking to navigate their professional and personal lives more effectively. So if you're interested in learning more about the ADHD side of introversion, all that, click the link inside of the description of this podcast episode. I find a link to the ADHD guidebook. Download it. It's 50% off, and it's a limited time only. So do that sooner rather than later. I get a lot of questions in regards to introversions, and I want to go through a couple of those questions that I get. One of the questions a lot of you ask me: how do you handle social gatherings as an introvert? I'm going to share with you some of my secrets. Um, my go-to strategy, honestly, is to set a time limit for myself. Knowing I have an exit plan allows me to enjoy the moments more fully. And remember, it's perfectly fine to take breaks. Go step outside, find a quiet corner, give yourself permission to breathe. I told you about that just now. I told you how I at work will find a quiet corner. I'll go out to my car. That kind of stuff helps. Over time, I've also mastered the art of saying the Irish goodbye, right? Which is a practice that my friends and family have come to understand and expect from me. Um, there are moments, particularly after, because I'm an actor and director, and I do a lot of musicals and plays and things like that. And after the show, obviously, a lot of my friends or family or supporters will be there, and they'll want to say hi and like all that kind of stuff. Sometimes my battery after a show is just freaking drained. I'm just done, and it's a lot, and my energy reserves, they dip so low that the thought of navigating through a crowd and engaging in a post-performance socializing event, it honestly, this just the thought of it feels incredibly overwhelming. And in those instances, I'm not going to lie, I opt to quietly slip out the back door, which helps me bypass the customary audience greetings and well wishes and stuff like that. It's not a reflection of my feelings towards the people who have come to support me. Rather, it's a necessary step that I take to safeguard my mental health and conserve my energy. And this practice allows me to honor my limits and ensure that when I do interact with my friends and my family and supporters, I can do so in a genuinely and I could do it. I could do so genuinely. I could do it wholeheartedly. I could do it as me without forcing myself through interactions that I know would drain me further. And the people that know me the best, my friends, my family, my loved ones, they understand that this for me isn't about avoidance. It's about self-preservation and ensuring that I can continue to give my best to my craft and to them, albeit in a way that respects my introverted needs. Another question that I often get is, how do you balance your alone time with social obligations? I love that question. It's a great question. At the end of the day, it's all about prioritizing. I make sure to schedule downtime after social events. No matter what kind of social event it is, I always make sure I schedule downtime after a social event. And this balance ensues that I'm not overextending myself, and I have the energy to engage in a meaningful way when I do participate, you know? Despite being an introvert, it's important to highlight that I still have a social life. I still engage with friends. I still attend events. I go to theme parks all the time. I enjoy being around people, and I enjoy interactions that are meaningful to me. And this aspect of my life underscores a common misconception about introverts, that we prefer to stay indoors all day and that we're avoiding social contact. In reality, introverts can and do have active social lives. It's just that we approach socializing a little differently. We value quality over quantity. We seek out interactions that feel enriching and authentic rather than overwhelming or superficial. You see, for introverts like me, our social activities are carefully chosen. Why do we do that? We do that because it allows us to conserve energy for engagements that truly matter and align with our interests and our energy levels. And this nuanced approach to socializing doesn't diminish the quality of our social lives, but in my opinion, I feel like it enhances it. It ensures that when we do choose to engage, it's genuinely rewarding and meaningful. Listen, thriving as an introvert, it's not about changing who we are. It's about embracing our quiet strengths and finding ways to navigate the world in a way that feels authentic to us. Introverts, listen, your introversion is a part of what makes you you. Damn it, that's something to celebrate. That is something to celebrate. To all my fellow introverts out there, I want to encourage you to embrace your introversion wholeheartedly and without any hints of shame. Your introverted nature is not just a facet of who you are, it's a profound strength that allows for deep thought and creativity and meaningful connections. The world needs the unique perspective and quiet power that only we introverts can bring. In a society that often celebrates the loud and the fast, know that your reflective, thoughtful approach to life is invaluable. You have the ability to listen, to understand, and to create spaces of genuine understanding and compassion. So, damn it, wear your introversion as a badge of honor. Wear it as a badge of honor. Don't be ashamed of that. By embracing who you are, you open the door to not just surviving, but thriving in a way that is true to your authentic self. So let your introversion guide you to lead a life that's filled with deep and fulfilling experiences that resonate with the very core of who you are. Wear it with pride, my friends. It's something to be proud of. Come on, damn it. Look, that's all for today, Vibers, my friends. I hope that you found this episode helpful and encouraging. Don't forget to visit thevibewithkai.com for more tips, stories, and support, because together we're breaking down the stigmas and building a community where everyone feels seen and heard. And again, if you're interested, if you are diagnosed with ADHD and you're an adult, download my new digital guidebook. It is now 50% off. Click the link inside of the description of this podcast episode, and you can get it for 50% off. It's an ADHD guidebook for adults. I think you can get a lot out of it. There you have it, Vibers. Another episode where we've journeyed together through the landscape of introversion and finding strength in what might often be perceived as quietness. Let's review what we talked about. We talked about embracing the power of saying no, the refreshing solitude of the Irish goodbye, the energy conserving art of selective socializing, and the profound impact of mindfulness and how deep breathing can help our introverted spirits. Remember, your introversion is not just a part of you, it's a power in its own right. It enables deep connections and creativity and a unique way of engaging with the world. And as we wrap up, I encourage you to carry forward the affirmation of your introverted qualities, embracing them as the assets that they truly are. Let's continue to navigate our path with confidence, understanding, and a profound sense of self acceptance. With that said, my friends, thank you again. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. As always, much love, good vibes, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.